What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner, 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association, and I host the only online show in the world for dads and fathers that's sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization, and being part of that collaboration last year, reached out directly and indirectly to over 100,000 fathers around the world. And as always, I am blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. And I am fired up. We have a first tonight on the Dr. Vibe Show. We have three generations of the same family on tonight, and no better time to have it in the month of Father's Day. So Father's Day is coming up, and we are going to have a really great conversation leading everyone up to Father's Day. And where else or how many times do you get a chance to be part of a conversation of three generations of men in the same family? So we've got two new friends tonight, and one gentleman that if you've been hanging around a bit, you know a little bit about, but the brand new friend who we made sure he got on this tonight. He was having some challenges getting it all going on, but he made it happen. And we like to thank and take honor and give blessings to Sid McNairy the Jr. How are you, Sid?
I'm wonderfully well, thank you.
Great. So good to have you here.
Indeed, it's my pleasure. I'm excited about the possibility of the fact that we have the opportunity to actually show the community what being a family really is, and how, in fact, we can pass down from generation, as I received from my father, Sidney the First, to my son and my grandson, what life truly is about. The measure of a man is how effective and wonderful he actually treats his family. That is the measure of a man. And that was said by a very uh, important man very recently.
Wonderful. I already see, I can see where the younger ones get their knowledge from. So I'm going to give you the honor and pleasure of introducing our next friend tonight. So who you want to put up next?
I believe it would sequentially, it ought be my son, Sidney the Third, for he is the heir apparent to my legacy, my father's legacy, and he has passed that through to his son. My son, Sidney McNairy the third, actually is, I guess, an apple in both my and his mother's eye. For
Mm,
he, in fact, embraces many of the truth, many of the blessings, and is creating opportunities to actually impact not only the immediate surrounding, but to impact generations to come. And so I'm proud to be a part of this uh, telecast, especially since he asked me to join him. Not that this is my first opportunity. I've had the opportunity to speak over the entire nation, every state, uh, many times in Puerto Rico, sometimes in my very limited Spanish. But I say very importantly that I've ended every speech, even the one I gave at Radio City Music Hall, to to much to to those who are given much, much is important. Much is important in giving back to others. And we are our brother's keepers. And anything we can do to inspire, motivate, and bring harmony to a family or the world, I'm delighted to have the opportunity. Here's my son, Sidney the third.
wow. 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 I'll just let it flow. Sid?
Well, I first I have to say thank you um, to my dad, to you for doing this, and it's beautiful because it'll be documented and we can download it and keep it, and if there's another Sydney, he could watch this in the future, and that's a beautiful thing. So I'm blessed to be a Sidney. I know that 100%. I couldn't imagine being anybody else, nor would I want to be anybody else. I'm blessed to have had an example from my father and from his father of how to pass his name along and help nurture the next generation. And I'm fortunate that I had that opportunity, to name a son Sidney McNairy the fourth, and know right in that moment, man, I was just dreaming of the possibility, not knowing that my son would be as great a person as he is and as big an impact in the world at such a young age, when he first started really helping lives at 13, teaching other people yoga, and then going on to do what he's done, and continuing to grow and continuing to dream. And Sid the fourth, as well as my other children, have made me a better person, because I've wanted to be an example of something possible for them to be in the world. So yeah, look forward to this conversation.
Wonderful. You have someone you need to introduce.
Yeah, well, I think I started it. So Sidney the fourth, he was born, and you know what's interesting, I took a job when he was being born, from Eastern Illinois University, when I was coaching football, and went to Northern Michigan. And so I remember the day he was, even before he was born. I told the person, my roommate at the time, I said, "Hey man, I'm going to get a phone call in the middle of the night. My son's going to be born, and I got to get out of here." So the phone rang, and I was asleep, and then they said he's coming. So I had to get back. And when I got back, he was there, and I remember he was in a hood. He had to learn to breathe different. I put my finger in his hand, and he grabbed my finger and pulled himself out of that hood. And that's a newborn. And so I knew, okay, now I got to get ready, because this one's tough and this one's ready. And he's been that and more. So I'm just grateful for this moment, and it's hitting my heart instantly. And so I appreciate having my father and my son here, for sure.
We're your bookends.
Yeah.
Sid the fourth, what's up? How you feeling at this moment?
Oh man, this is really cool. Man, I don't even know. This has never happened before.
Wow.
It's happened in person a little bit. We have our own stories of holidays where we get to meet up with each other and love one another and tell each other stories of, our life's journey as a Sidney, and as a Black man. Let's also, not hide from that. The journey is strong. It takes a strong individual to live and support people and love people, and also trust God. And both of these awesome fathers I have in the room taught me that. And I actually just asked both of my granddad and my dad, how do you celebrate life? It was an important question to me, because I've done a lot of awesome things in my life, and I don't know that I've celebrated them all. So right now, I think this is one really big moment that I'm not going to forget to celebrate.
If I may.
And certainly, please, I'm just steering the ship. You gentlemen drive it tonight.
If I may. As the four of us sit here, I think it's critically important to remind every person out there, both man and woman, particularly Black men, from whence we come. And so I want to talk a little bit about family history.
Yeah.
And, we sit here as these great pontificators, well versed on the King's English. However, it didn't start like this. I am a product of a mother who finished eighth grade and a father who dropped out in fourth grade in order to take care of his sister and his brother.
Wow.
Fourth grade, a giant of a man. And in fact, my father comes from Mississippi. My mother traveled from Arkansas, and they were married in Arkansas. They were the father and mother of five children, four of whom finished college. We grew up in a government project. I want the people out there, especially the black family, to know that if you believe it, you can make it happen. And this eighth grade mother, fourth grade father who only worked in a hotel with tips, was able to shepherd these four of the five children through all of us finished college. And in fact, have made and will continue to make phenomenal contributions to the history of mankind. As we were sitting here talking, I just thought I'd just jot down for myself and for y'all, family. Family for me stands for those who care about care about others. And in fact, the congressman from Atlanta did say in his book, the measure of a man is how well does he take care of his family. So that's F. A is to fathers assist their family first, but whomever lives they touch. T, they look after themselves. They want to be an image of excellence for everyone whose lives they touch. H, honor this legacy. Long after I'm here as a part of this firmament, I will be remembered through the works and the eyes of Sidney 3 and Sidney 4. That's my hope. That's my expectation. Eternally grateful. Eternally grateful for whatever we're able to do. And more importantly than riches and wealth is our relationship with our God and our fellow man. That's important. By thee, we have risen. By thee, we have risen. And finally, the last letter in Father, R. We are royalty. Hey, folk, we are royalty. We have done as much as any king and queen has, for we've touched the lives and will continue to touch the lives of people whom we interact with today and the world tomorrow. I can imagine, I won't be here, Sidney, for you may be out there in space having an impact on the world community. I believe it can be done. Dream big, colleagues. We are chosen. We're chosen not to be great, but to do great things, touch the lives of people. I've had the opportunity to talk all over this country, every state. Hawaii 50 times, Puerto Rico 100. Habla español, poquito. And so the world community. And I'm just delighted. Sidney, 3, I'm delighted you thought enough to let Daddy have some of your show time. Sydney 3, we're Sydney 4. Aren't we glad that he
Yeah.
let us in his window of success?
Yeah. Nice. Thank
We thank you, brother.
Anytime. Anytime.
I want to ask 3 and 4. What does the word legacy mean to you?
You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
All right. So legacy for me is, what am I leaving for the next 7 generations? That's my legacy, you know, because as I see it, and my dad's the scientist, so he may correct me on this. My impact, my cells are going to last for 7 years, and as I've learned in the Native American customs, everything's about the next 7 generations. And so when I look at this in that way, it's what can I do today that's going to affect the next 7 generations, and how can I leave the world in a better place than how I received it? And so that's my legacy. You know, I know we just heard my father talk about coming from the foot homes in Memphis, Tennessee. And I know where we grew up. And then it's like, all right, how do I make sure that my children, and my son's making that one, is making a lot more money than I did coming out of school. And he said, I don't want to finish school. And so I had to make sure that he was ready to do that anyway, regardless of whether or not he's talking about going back to school, because now he's like, oh, this will be fun. You know, yet that's the legacy to me, is how can I leave everyone in a better way than how I got it? Not that it was bad. That's evolution. And that's my legacy, is I've written and I've put it out there that for the duration of the world, I want the world to know the impact I had on bringing peace to the world. For the duration of the world, not just my children, not just their children, but I'm talking as long as we exist as a species, I want people to remember we were here and this is what we did. So that's legacy for me, what I can leave behind for those to come, because I've only borrowed this time from them. And then I'll pass it to 4.
4.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of those things for sure. You know, that is my dad. He raised me, and you know, there's a lot of things that I agree with my dad. That's something that I would like to add. I think for my legacy is, I've noticed that from 13 to now, the reason. So when he talks about teaching yoga at 13, one of the main reasons why I taught yoga or wanted to teach yoga is because I spent a lot of time alone. I spent a lot of time, you know, doing art, playing video games, doing all this stuff alone. And I know there's a lot of other kids and even adults that are doing that to this day. And yoga brought me in connection with community. And just practicing yoga before even teaching, I noticed what it did for me. And I think now stepping outside of, you know, just a yoga space and saying, what is legacy for me? It's my ability to create an open space for connection for people. I mean, I notice it just in my switch and transition for a year's time. I've been working in the solar industry, and I'm noticing all of my coworkers, you know, wanting to connect with me, wanting to go out and have, you know, a good time or go to the beach or whatever it is. They want to do things, but I feel like I'm a beacon that inspires connection. And so it doesn't matter if I'm in a yoga room or if I'm in an office or if I'm on, you know, a live right now that's going to potentially be saved forever for someone to listen to later down the line. If I inspire anything as my legacy, yes, of course, I have to sit here and hold the torch of a potential Sidney 5 coming here. Yeah, but that doesn't allow me to also act in the present moment. And my present moment legacy, and what I'm thinking about most right now, is how to make sure that everyone has the ability to cross bridges, across seas, and really connect with each other, because there's no reason that we're divided, because we are all God's children. I mean, that's the real legacy.
If I might inject here,
Please do.
as a well-trained biomedical scientist, I couldn't help but listen to Sid 3 talk about 7 generations. And I just want to go on record and remind each of us, if you haven't thought about it, some of the same oxygen molecules that we breathe were utilized by Socrates, Aristotle, and Plato. We're just important links in the chains of humanity. So I particularly feel a need to make that observation. But as we talk about legacy, I'm on the front end of this legacy. And I talk to these two guys a lot, but I really don't know them as well as I'm getting to know them now. And I with apology, I'm going to say, this young cat, is he insightful? Boy, it's good what I did when you were a kid.
A buddy seat, man.
Yes. Imame cake, come on, cake. Aye.
Aye.
These are songs that we created along the way. This is wonderful, and so I can't thank my host enough for giving us this opportunity to speak to our world community, particularly Black men. And so far too often in the history of Black people in America, our women have had to bear the brunt of keeping the family together, and our men wandered off. But here are the three of us. We've held firm to that notion that we are our brother's keeper, especially our own children. And so I'm just proud to have this opportunity to be a part of this dialogue.
Wonderful.
That's my comment.
I'm gonna.
Hey, one thing.
Go ahead, Ford.
This bridge right here, this is a testament to my generation, because this is a virtual database, and we are on a Zoom call, which creates an amazing bridge for us to still be able to connect. And that's the connection I'm talking about. Man, people are connecting all over the world. Look at us.
Now it's 2 different countries going on right now. I'm in Toronto.
Nice.
So this is an international conversation.
There we go.
An international conversation.
Wonderful.
Have a question here for each one of you. Just some comments here. One of the members of the Art of Peaceful Living, Ayanna, is saying, "Fantastic! I'm happy to be here watching with my mini." And then Agent Bay saying, "This is an honor to witness living legacies, potent." I'm going to start off with the doc. It's a 3-point question, but I know you can handle it.
I'll give it my best shot.
I know you're going to do that.
I know I will.
Okay.
I know, but I got to let you give me some guidance here. What do you want? 3 things.
Okay.
I'm a scientist, so I always have a pen.
No problem. No problem. If you want, I'll give you the question, and I can give it to the others and come back to you.
That would probably give.
Okay.
Give them, that would probably be good for them. So they
You
can
know,
start.
you know what's happening. I'm gonna have you back, you and I. So you just ready. This is just the appetizer. You're coming back, by the way, just to let you know. Thank you. So
As they
here's my
say in the Bible, so let it be written, so let it be done.
received. Here's my question for you.
Okay.
What did your father instill in you that you still carry on today?
That's the first question.
Second question, and then the second question, what has 3 and 4 instilled in you that you are carrying on with? What things have they taught you? Okay.
Okay.
So I'll let you simmer on that.
Those are 2 questions or 3 questions?
Two questions, really 2 questions. I thought it was 3 because of separating 3 and 4, but it's the second question. What have the 3 and 4 instilled in you? Because I feel that education, knowledge goes top down and bottom up. So I'll let you think on that one. So I'm going to go to 4 now. So 4, what has 3 instilled in you that you carry on with, and what does Doc or Gramps instilled in you that you carry on with?
Ah, Lord.
We call them pops. Am I answering that now?
Yeah. Yes.
Just so everybody know, that's pops up there in the corner. You know. But anyway, yeah, my dad has instilled a deep desire to win at life every day. And winning can look like so many different things, and that's why I brought that to the table of what's the main thing that my dad instilled in me, because winning can look like, remembering to say I love you every day to your spouse in the morning. Winning could look like making all the money to take care of your family. Winning could look like taking care of yourself, going to the gym in the morning, doing a yoga practice because you care about your health. Winning can look like so many things. So my dad taught me, to go after winning every day. And in some way, in your 24 hours that God's given you, go win. So I'm going to go there with that. And my pops has taught me how to be an important leader. And really, I watch my pops with his siblings. I've been watching this because it's been important to me. I realize I'm the oldest, and I see how he cares for his brother and his sister. That's it, right? Yeah, me too. But that's important, They're leaning on us, and when they're leaning, you want them to be leaning on something good, because not only are they there leaning on support, once they touch you, they're absorbing what you're giving them. So it's not just, they're leaning on you for support and then they're going to go away now that they got on their own 2 feet. They were leaning on support, and in that moment of support, they might have either consciously been talking to you or not talking to you at all, but they're absorbing the goodness that you have to give them, and that's the leadership. And that really also applies to like all my other brothers and sisters that aren't blood related but are God related. Anybody can lean on me, and once they do, they're gonna take away something that's gonna lift them up. That's all. And if I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing what Pops taught me. So those are the 2 main things that I think my dad and my Pops, those are my things.
Thank you for that. 3, what has 4th instilled in you, and what is Pops? If I'm allowed to say that, I have to get clearance. I'm not part of the fam. So let it be
written, so let it be done.
Okay, respect. What has Pops taught you? So let's start with fourth first, and then to Pops.
Well, early on, I learned quickly with four. I learned one that he was watching, like a hawk. Like everything I did, he wanted to do. Like what? This is a funny story. One day I came home from. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay, cool. One day I came home from football practice, and Sid was like, I think he was like 6, and he was like, "Hey man, I can beat you in push-ups." I was like, "What? You can beat me in push-ups? This little guy is something else." So he gets down, he does 75 push-ups at 6, and I was like, "All right, I got you." So I went and I did 76, and he said, "Man, I knew I should have done one more." And I was like, because I stopped on purpose. Like, all right, I beat him. We don't need to make this anything other than that. And so I learned how much he was watching early. And so I can remember at one point he was having a conversation, and I recognized myself. And I was like, that's not how it has to be. So he taught me early that if I wanted something to be an example for my children, I had to become it. So, it was, all right, I'm going to play the drums. So my other son can play the drums, and he'll think that that's what he does. Oh, you want to teach yoga? Cool. If you want to play football, then I got to get myself in shape and show you what it looks like when I come to practice, and all these different things. So for me, he always helped push me further. Like even now, like I mean, he took over the yoga studios. So then I had to reinvent myself. And then it was like, all right, I gotta go. Like I gotta really go for it to be an example of you can dream big and go get anything. So it wasn't necessarily as much a teaching as a push. Like, don't stop, because I'm coming. That's how I felt. That's how I've always felt for me. Like with him, like, all right, he's coming, and this isn't enough for either one of us, so I got to keep going. So he gave me a spark that was definitely a will to drive for more, even though I'm no longer competing. So I really felt that from him coming into my life. With my dad, and that let me go back to Sid. So with that, it led to knowing about reflections, that what I am is reflecting more out of my offspring, especially, than people in the world. Yet he taught me to be a better example in every way, because I was looking in the mirror all the time, push-ups, whatever. It was just like, I got to keep going. Now with my dad, I definitely will say, I remember one thing that was early in my childhood was, hey, when I get up, you get up. I don't care what time you came home last night. When I get up, you get up and you make your bed. So I learned this level of discipline. Not only that, now I don't think any kid does this anymore. Between my dad and my soccer coach, they both made me polish my soccer cleats that would be muddy from the game before. And so the level of discipline.
You damn Skippy.
The level of discipline was so big for me in my life that discipline's, it's a second thought, because I know I'm going to get it done. And so I learned to have discipline to go get my dreams, to finish my dreams all the way through. And I've had a lot of dreams. And so I learned to chase those things and get it done from my dad, for sure.
Well, before we let Pops take the stage, comment here. Wow, absolutely love Sid's 4 words of connection to community, connection to everything. A treat to jump into the McNairys for a bit. There you go.
Hey, that's good old Sarah Dobby from way back in the day. So it's so good to see you, see your name, and we're both in Florida. Sarah's over in Clearwater, and she's part of the reason we started thinking about Florida. So thank you for being in our lives.
Wonderful. Pops, it's your time.
Do we have another hour to go? Got a lot to say now.
That's all right. Make it
I want.
happen.
I don't want these boys to show better than I. But point of fact is, what has not come across. I spent 10 years as a college professor teaching y'all's favorite subject, biochemistry, organic chemistry, general chemistry. I know you love it. I know you do. I can see it in your eyes. And as I listened to 3 and 4 talk, I was reminded how I began every chemistry course. And I don't even know why I thought like this. I was such a young pup. But it began by my saying, in my quest for immortality, I must transmit the lessons, my values I've learned to my young. And my spirit will live on forever. I'm about translating these lessons and these values. And so I used to say to my wife, she's an educator, worked with a lot of students. We out here trying to save the world, but I think we ought to be focused primarily or initially on saving our legacy. And so I'll tell you, I say being a parent, and I'm a parent, a grandparent. This is a brand new experience for everybody who's undertaken being a parent or a grandparent. It's like sandlot football. We're making up these plays as we go along, and we hope that we can score a touchdown. Go left, and if I can, I'll throw it to you. I may have to run. And so just watching, and you really, as a parent, you're doing the best you can and hoping like hell some of this sticks. Some of this sticks with your youngsters. And you're nervous as hell because you never can tell when they're going to go in the wrong direction. You have to run and try to cover something up. But I've learned so much. I mean, we ain't done nothing but tried to be the best people we could for these 2 generations. And so what have I learned from them? One thing that whoever you are out there as a parent, and I say this to every parent, when your children are born, that playbook you have for your children, just throw it away. Because that playbook is not going to get them through the real world. But pay attention and be a resource to those young people. And we make mistakes as parents. We make mistakes. But bottom line, we're trying to get them on a trajectory to actually make a contribution to life. And as I think about these guys a lot, more than they probably can imagine. And I even dream about them. And that really, I've learned that it does not matter where you start, it's where you finish. And I'd say, I can't say this about Sid 4, but this guy Sid 3, man, he's been all over the place. And, life is a finite journey, and it takes some longer to get there than others. And I have to say, I've learned so much about patience, commitment to people, and faith in God. I heard Sid 4. Boy, did I hear you talk about God? Did I hear you? Yes, I did. And I was there when you were baptized. And I didn't know it would stick. I'm a cradle Catholic. I believe in God. I read the Bible. And I know that I am here for well-defined reason. But as I look at you, Sid 4, it's amazing. Sometimes, it's just like you take a piece of mud and slam it against the wall and hope you got something. But I see some of it stuck with you. And Sid, Sid 2 or 3 YouTube. And so this is such a proud moment. Uh, and we're going to talk about this. See, and really, you got to be sometimes as a parent devious. Now, Sidney talked about polishing the mud off his soccer shoe. He didn't understand because I'm the visionary. Now, if I make him polish the shoes, I don't have to buy more. See that? It was more than polish. I don't have to buy more. And this is another thing I told you. You know, I saw parents going there and struggling with their children who wanted these, soccer shoes. They must fit the feet, so you change them so often. And I said this to Sidney. Hey, he's talking about he wanted more shoes. I told him, fine. So you got to be devious as a parent. Fine. When you're ready to buy one, I'll buy the other one. So he starts saving his money. See, I was teaching him a financial lesson. So you got to be a little bit devious. But as I look at these guys, and we don't have the opportunity to sit and be like this. So many distractions, so many distractions around. Now, this is 4 men talking now. We're getting down to the real roots of who we are and what our commitments have to be. And so I'm not ready to leave this earth, but I feel a whole lot better knowing that I'm going to leave y'all behind to carry on the values, the fruits of this legacy that you're a part of. Wow. My dad worked in a hotel, tips, took care of 5 children, a wife. I can't do that. I haven't done that. But I see these guys, man, they're out there, gee, they really believe in what they're doing. I was guessing all the way, hoping like hell that mud I threw on the wall stuck somewhere. So I've learned an awful lot by just simply, it's God. It's unbelievable to see how 2 pieces of DNA, sometimes it was oops, that brought forth 2 wonderful creatures. And I'm just so delighted. I really, I didn't know what this was about. Now, hey, brother, I'm ready to talk for as long as you can let me. This has been such a wonderful experience. And I think it's such an important thing for the Black community, especially. Yeah. Especially. Because if we go back to our motherland, family was first. Family was first. And grandpa sat down to eat first. What they said in the golden years, when they spoke, that was it. You just went and did it. And so we've gotten too far away from that. But I see, thinking I had not quite hit the nail on the head right, but these are 2 giant of young men. I'm glad to have been a part of their journey. Hallelujah.
Wonderful. Ayanna saying yes, hoping it sticks. As a parent, she loved that. Agent Bay says it must have been an amazing experience to be a student of this soul-driven professor.
Yes.
Wow. And then also trajectory to be a contribution to life. You're dropping the knowledge bombs here, Prof.
I lectured 3-4 hours and no notes, brother. And very technical. I actually was involved with lecturing in the vet school at Purdue University. I've worked at Pfizer, Lilly, Standard Oil of California, Center for Disease Control, General Electric, and the National Institutes of Health. And I must say, by thee, the big guy, I rose. By thee, I rose. To come from the government project to where I landed, that was divine intervention. No question. Mm-hmm.
Love it.
So wow. I'm not what more you have time for me to say. I'm just beginning to feel it. I'm getting to feel it. I'm beginning to feel the spirit now. I'm gonna,
I love it.
because
You, you
I
know what's coming up in my alleged mind? We need to do this a few times during the year.
hey, this is so important, especially gosh, Jesus, you make me use my ghetto for profanity. This is so important.
I love
for-
it.
This is so important for people of color
Yeah. Yeah.
who are walking away and leaving our young to actually find their own way. I have to, hey, and probably they're going to blow you off the hook when I say this. That's why one baby, okay, castration right after. You through. You can't stand up and be a man. It's time for us to take charge of you. And so this opportunity to get this message out there to our community where we are so lost, and more important than material wealth is our relationship with our fellow man.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. Legacy, the relationship with your fellow man. And how are you going to transmit the lessons, the values learned from your elders to the next generation?
I want to ask each one of you, what does the name Sidney mean to you?
What's the order here?
I'll start. I'll start. The name Sidney means to me that I was named after my father, who was named after his father.
Wow.
So it's really, and that, nobody thought about names back then. But my father was named after his father. His father was named Sidney too. But they kind of like threw that Archie in there. That was his uncle's name. And so that's why my father was the first Sidney and I'm the second. But we're part of an important link in the chains of humanity. Strong links. And so this is such an important part of what we're talking about today. I'm just delighted, excited, thankful, and want to say hallelujah. Thanks for giving me this forum. It's been a while since I've done something like this, but I think I'm kind of beginning to feel it now.
You think?
I think I'm beginning to feel it.
You think?
I think I'm beginning to feel it. I was not sure what the hell Sidney had gotten me involved with. This guy's got so many tricks in his bag. Next thing I know, he may be billing me. You too, Sid, for we may get a bill from your daddy. Hey, look, watch.
I throw
watch.
I collect checks,
So third and fourth, what does the name Sidney mean to each one of you?
Well, I went and did numerology on our name. And so what was amazing was just the tag of senior, junior, 3 and 4 changed up who we were meant to be in the world. And so when I looked at everybody, it's amazing that we are the way we were meant to be. So when I look at, and I went through and it was like each one built on the next. So for me, that's what it's meant. I remember sitting when we first got to DC and saw my dad speaking at NIH and all these people were listening. I was like, oh, when is it my turn? Like I felt like that every time I went to see my dad's speech. I was practicing like, oh no, that's not how I do it. I move my head like this. I talk like this. So when I gave a speech recently, my dad was like, man, you commanded it. You had the theatrics. And I was like, yeah, well, I got to watch. So that's what being a Sidney meant to me. It was oh, hold up, my dad can hold the stage, my dad can make people laugh, he can make them cry, he can move them, he can lift them. I knew I had to do that. That's what it meant. I knew when I had Sid the Four, it was like, hey, my dad got me here. That was a major part of why I'm who I am. So I had a responsibility to be a Sidney. You know, that's what it meant to me. Like I it meant so much to me that when I had a second son, I was like, okay, I got to make sure I come up with a name that means as much to me as Sidney, because I just gave that to my other son. So I need him to know he's connected too. So his initials were TD, which meant, you know, for me, football, scoring a touchdown with this one. And then I got the name. Then the name came forward, and it was like, all right, that's what Sidney is. It was a legacy right off the bat in my head of this is what I have to measure up to, because I was named Sidney. It's a responsibility. So that's what I got. I don't know how it went for 4.
I'll just interject really, really quick here that I can relate so much to your story 3 that my dad, as I think I shared with you, was an educator for 38 years in the same public school. And it didn't hit me how important, because I have the same name as him.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't hit me till one day I went to his public school's 100th anniversary celebration. And I walk into the school, and on the ground floor, there was a grand piano that was donated. And it was donated by the late Morley Safer of 60 Minutes fame. Morley Safer went to that school. Morley Safer was born and grew up in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I went up to the classroom, I saw my dad speaking with all these different people. I go, oh, that's cool. That's all right. And so I pulled someone aside and say, how do you know my dad? He says, well, he's taught 3 generations in our family. That's when it sort of hit me saying, okay, yeah, I there's a reason why. And now I'm beginning to get the reason why I have the same name as him. So I fully get it. So I just wanted to interject that story in tonight's conversation. 4, go ahead. What does Sidney mean to you?
I was getting some new air. Yeah. The same word of responsibility really comes up for me, but I think responsibility for me, I think what I'm looking at and what I'm learning, because I'm learning so much. I have 2 generations right there, and I've had them there with me, alongside me, supporting me, rooting me on, cheering for me at football games, at yoga classes, at, you know, in moments when I wanted to do something new and take on a new challenge. I can reach out to either of them and be like, hey, would you invest in this? Because I think it's going to really work, you know? And they do, they step up for me. And I would say, responsibility of learning from all the wins and all the losses that both generations that I've witnessed firsthand go through. My responsibility is to, if it's a win, continue doing it. If it's a loss, find another way to do it to turn it to a win. That's a responsibility for me. So if there's things that my dad or pops have voiced to me where they felt like they could have done better, that means they took the moment to be so vulnerable with me about their lowest, about the things that they didn't do the best. That's a luxury. Not everybody tells you what they didn't do the best. So it's now my responsibility to go out there and go make it the best again. And when there's another, when there's another generation, and my timeline, don't rush me,
I was gonna say, be careful now.
Yeah. It's my responsibility to be that vulnerable so that the next generation can learn.
Right.
And if I'm sitting here connecting bridges to not only my and family, and I'm saying, hey, I just did a mission trip to Africa and met hundreds of orphans. I need to be so vulnerable for them that they can know what it means to lose and get back up. And I mean, I've been knocked down a few times, just like these guys in the room, probably just like yourself, Dr. Vibe.
Absolutely.
But for some reason, all of us are sitting up straight. All of our, we're all, well, hey, I need to sit up straight. All of us are here. We're standing up, right? We're on our 2 feet. We're rocking and rolling. We're inspiring people because we took that loss and the responsibility we knew we had. We turned it into a win again because people are watching us. They're watching us right now.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll watch us for as long as this video is up and uploaded into the web. And somebody at the top's going to watch us. I just hope they don't come for us. What's good? Actually, I do hope they come for us, because when they come to one of us, it's usually a peaceful interaction.
Yeah.
If I may digress just for a moment, because as 3 and 4 were speaking, I felt I had been somewhat remiss in hitting the nail on the head with respect to what does Sidney mean to me. And as I thought about it, I was reminded of the day that I gave a commencement address to my undergraduate college. And my dad was there. And after the commencement address, he said to me, "Son, I'm so proud of you, but I wish I understood all of those big words you now use." And without a moment to think, I uttered these words to my father: "Dad, it's only 26 letters in the alphabet. And thanks to you, I learned how to mix them." So he was my inspiration and motivated me. I wanted to achieve at least what he had, if not more. So that motivated me to be the person that I ended up. 26 letters in the alphabet. And he helped me to learn how to mix them. And there was all of those big words. And we both cried. Wonderful dad. So someone else can talk as I listen.
Well,
I'm enjoying this.
comments from Agent Bay. Dr. Vibe, I think you have to start a show for Dr. Sidney. You see that?
Look, I'm a ghetto boy, and this is what we said: don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
Oh,
this is it's great for all of those other people, but the 4 of us really have something wonderful to hold on to for June, for Father's Day of 2022. That's what this is about. And I mean, I've done all that scientific talking and motivational speaking all over, but this is par excellence for me.
love it. Love it. And
Thank you
Agent
very
Bay
much.
says, we're not playing, sir. LOL.
Oh, I was apprehensive about what this was all about because I'm very, very busy doing nothing. And so I'm kind of getting back in the saddle. Thank you for the opportunity to actually be a part of your program.
It's our program.
Thank you
It's
for
not mine. It's ours.
the world today. What tomorrow?
There you go. There you go. Gentlemen, I think we're gonna shut down part 1. Because I think because as if I have another show now to do. This is going to be another new show to do, but I want to end off with this, and we'll start with 4, then go to 3, then go to Pops. What what is your message for Black men? Okay, I'm going to do it two parts. What is your message for those who love Black men, and what is your message for Black men?
Mm. Is it
So four, you start, then three, then Pops will shut it down.
the message I've been moving with lately that's real simple for me and it makes sense for me
Yeah.
is appreciation is connection. The more you appreciate people, the more you'll connect with them. The more you appreciate a Black man, if you're with one, you'll connect with them. The more you appreciate the world that has been told that it's treating us a certain way, the more you appreciate it for what it is, the more you'll connect with it. So yeah, that's mine. Appreciation is connection.
Is that for those who love Black men, or is that and also for Black men also?
Yeah.
Both groups? All right. Cool. Three?
So first, I'd say for those who love Black men, love them as they are. Stop trying to make them something else. I share that from my own life. I came from passion-driven men and women, so I walked in with passion. Like, get me started, and I'm gonna bring the heat. That's just the way it is. And if I don't bring the heat, then you probably want to get worried. Because if I don't bring the heat, I haven't brought the passion to it. I haven't brought my level of love. And it's okay for me to be me. Fortunately, I'm at a place where I get to be me, I unapologetically. And I have someone who loves me as myself. And it's been the greatest gift to have someone who stands for me as me, and actually even walked in a yoga studio and told them, you all asked him to be himself, and now you can't handle it. Get over it. Like, I appreciate that. And so, love a Black man for being a Black man. We are many colors in the rainbow. We're meant to be different and be ourselves at the same time and love one another because of our differences, not because we need to be someone else. So I appreciate those who that stand with us as we are, and then also are willing to say, "Hey, if it gets a little too hot, because I used to get when I was younger, get really hot, and people would say something out of love, and I had a chance to shift and be there. So just love Black men for being Black men. To Black men, be okay. Be okay being vulnerable. Be okay expressing yourself without, and I'm really speaking to myself where I've grown to, be okay being able to express yourself in a way that's able to be received. Take ownership for your own life. Accountability is key, because with accountability, I took the power back from my life. No one else got to control me anymore. So take that power back. Know that when for me, when I became a warrior, when I knew I could walk into anything and make it out, that's when I knew I could be at peace, because I was okay no matter what fire I walked into. And peace is the power to live by, because peace can win, and peace as my foundation is the only access I have to love. So that's what I got.
Pops, you're gonna you're gonna bring it home.
I am.
I know you are.
My message is, of course, to Black men, but to all men. Because, we started out as Mongoloid, Caucasoid, and Negroid. And we all are conglomerates now. My legacy is part French, part Scottish, part Filipino, and I think a touch of African. I think. But that's who I am. I'm a conglomerate. And so this is a message to all men, particularly those that wear that label of black man. You must have a commitment. You must have a commitment to yourself and a commitment to your fellow man or woman. And then, very simply, honor that commitment. Be unwavering and stay the course. Be honorable as a man, whether you be black, white. Oh, I forgot Native American is a part of this family.
Yes.
You know, they just put this stamp on my head and call me black. Now let's look at this, folk. Where are the black people in this group? We are conglomerates. And they did that to actually make life more difficult than the segregated. But I'm saying this to all men. Have a commitment to your fellow man and honor that commitment. That's all I got, folks. Thank you very much.
Wow. Well, 4-3 and Pops, you brought the house down. You brought the house down. My heart is full at this moment because I knew this was going to be epic, but was more than epic. And even the nice point is it's documented. It ain't going nowhere. So we can point to people and say, when they say black men don't talk, right? And Iana's saying how to love a black man. So powerful. Thank you. Aaron from 13. I am so glad to be able to jump into this conversation. It's been lovely to listen. Agent Bay, truly an honorable live today. Thank you. They made it. I just steered the ship. Pops drove the ship, but
hey, we got there even though I had a broken oar.
Right.
Use your hands.
I made it all the way.
People. You can get there.
10%. I'm 10% right now, guys. If I black out, just know I'm still with you.
Well, I think the audience wants a round 2. Are you gentlemen up for it?
For sure.
Yeah,
I can speak for myself.
I like them. Let's do it.
I can't speak for round 2 because I'm committed to round 3.
Ooh, fire. All right.
Are we still being recorded?
Yes, we're still live right now.
Well, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
But not on air.
Okay. Well, okay. No problem. So we got some talking to do after the recording stops. So and you probably won't get to that conversation, folks. So that's the real fun talk after. So I want to say thank you to the legacy that you gentlemen and those who came before you and those who are coming after you have laid and will lay down. The wonderful thing is it's bigger than each one of you, and you all know it and you all live it. So as always, I want to say, first of all, if anyone wants to follow 4 on Instagram, that's where you can find them. And then Sid, you just look at the bottom there, all the different places. Now, Pops, are you on social media?
I'm a troller. I read only. I read only.
That's the answer of the month. I'm a troller. I love it.
As Descartes, the famous philosopher, says, I think, therefore I am.
Received. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much. The audience is well, we were going for a part two. Now it seems we're already at a part three by someone's uh, declaration. We're going to be doing part three. So I want to say thank you for everyone. So we'll see you guys in a few minutes. I'm going to close it all out. So thank you and blessings to you. Give yourselves grace and don't just manage your time, manage your energy.
Yes, sir.
We'll see you. Thank you so much. Epic conversation. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And family, wow, that was epic. Whoa. So we're already at a round three. We just started one. We're at round three already. But I want to say thank you for everyone who watched this live or on the replay or is going to listen to it on replay. Certainly. And we already got the Dr. Sidney show has a good ring. You see this already? The Dr. Sidney show has a good ring. Wonderful Liz McNairy encore. This was absolutely amazing. So much love for the Sidneys. Also, Diana, not a troller. Love that line. That's a classic. And Macmillan Group, best answer. Hashtag troll. So that is classic. I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, let's close out this conversation. As I said, my heart is full. This has been beautiful. And I just want to say this is at the end of my conversation to say this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions. Then aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. Love, faith, and respect. Remember to give yourselves grace. And also, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. And I really got to give a big shout out to these three wonderful Black men that took time out of their positive, productive schedules to share with you and enlighten us and challenge us, make us laugh, make us cry. But in the end, they're making us better. So please share this one out and subscribe to the Dr. Vibe channel on Facebook and YouTube, and you'll get notified to part three, because I already gone past part two and three, and other epic conversations. God bless, peace to all, keep the faith, and walk good. Take care, everybody.